Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is September 9th. The Royals have gone from hot to cold and are now back to being hot. And the Tigers, do they still have a chance of this thing? Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing? Today, the start of another week here, another great week for baseball, a great week for football. First week of football wrapped up today as well, or is going to be wrapped up today once the Giants and 49ers play later on. So hopefully you guys, if you're football fans as well, hopefully fantasy went well. Got some wins for your favorite team, and but we're not here to talk about football. We're here to talk about baseball, and the season is coming to an end. We got 6 series left, 3 weeks essentially of baseball left to play, and there is still a lot of things to decide. We still haven't had a single team clinch a playoff spot. It is going to be a tight knitted race towards the end of this season, so stay tuned for all of that. We've got an interesting one here today, so with that all being said, let's dive on into our series recap. Leading us off, we've got the Rays and the O's, and this was a big series for the O's to try to keep up with the Yankees. They take the first game 2-0 against the Rays, shut them out in the first game, but then Tampa comes back with a 7-1 victory, followed up with a 2-0 victory on Sunday. They get them right back there. The Rays take 2 of 3 from the Oilers, and that gives the Yankees a chance to take back the AL East. Red Sox and White Sox first here now, though, and the Red Sox, of course, being the better team, take the first 2 games 3-1 and 7-5, but in the last game it was 2-2 entering the 9th, and the White Sox break that tie with 5 runs in the 9th inning. They win it 7-2, but the Red Sox still win the sock off. They take 2 of 3 from the White Sox. Twins and Royals battle for second in the AL Central. This was a big series if one of these teams could sweep. The Royals take the first game 5-0. They then come back with 4 runs late to win it 4-2 in the second game. And then for good measure, they shut the Twins out once again, 2-0 the final. The Royals sweep the Twins, momentum in their favor. They're looking at Cleveland once again. Tigers and A's, we had a fun one to start this series. 7-6 your final. It was walked off in the 13th inning by Seth Brown. The A's and Tigers hit 4 runs. They scored 4 runs combined in the 10th, 11th, and 12th innings to push it to the 13th inning. Seth Brown, base hit to right field, wins it for the A's. The only win of this series for them, as the Tigers came back 2-1 in game 2 and then 9-1 in the last game. They blew it open late. Tigers take 2 of 3 from the A's. D-backs and Astros, Yordan Alvarez, the man, the myth, the home run hitter. 2 home runs for him. It's an 8-0 Astros lead and victory in that first game. They shut out the D-backs, which brings them to the second game where they once again beat them 11-5 this time around. But looking for the sweep, they would run into one man and one man alone. Pavin Smith paves the way for the D-backs. Yeah, you like what I did there? A 3-run home run, a grand slam, and a solo shot. That's a total of 3 home runs and 8 RBIs, as that would help the D-backs get a 12-6 win to avoid the sweep. Astros, though, take 2 of 3. Angels and Rangers. 4-game series here. 3-1 Rangers in the first game. Angels would even up the series with a 5-1 win, but then Texas comes on. Texas strong, 6-4 in game 3 and 7-4 to round off the series. Texas Rangers taking 3 of 4 from the Los Angeles Angels. Helps them out for nothing. They're not fighting for nothing anymore. Phillies and Marlins. The Phillies open up this series strong. They are the better team, 5-2 and 16-2. They had a 21-4 run differential in the series in those first 2 games, but then the Marlins come back 9-5 in Game 3, and then how about a day for Connor Norby, 2-homer day against the Phillies. Edward Cabrera shuts them down 10-1 the final 2 games. Marlins outscored 19-6. They end up splitting the 4-game set 2 apiece. Blue Jays and Braves. The Braves, of course, needing all the wins they can get. The Mets red hot on their win streak. They take a 3-1 victory, but then run into a problem. Game 2, Spencer Horwitz was all over Braves pitching. 2-homer day for him led to a 9-5 Blue Jays win. The Braves looked in control in Game 3, but then Horwitz came into pinch hit and hit a home run to tie it. This brought us to extras, but the Braves do stave off the Blue Jays. They win it 4-3. They walk it off in the 11th. Sean Murphy, an infield single up the middle. Braves take 2 of 3 from the Blue Jays. Taking a look now at the Mets, baby. The Mets, they're here. They're taking on the Reds in New York, and they would walk it off in the first game. Mark Vientos, a walk-off bomb, the 8th straight win for the Mets. They win it 6-4. They then shut out the Reds 4-0 in Game 2 to make it 9 straight wins. And in the third game, looking for the sweep to make it 10 in a row. It was a 1-1 game in the 9th. 2 runs score for the Reds to break the tie. The Mets cannot come back. Reds win it 3-1 to break the Mets' 9-game winning streak, but an impressive 9-game win streak nonetheless, as they take 2 of 3 from the Reds here. And look now on to their next series. Nationals and Pirates played a 4-game set. First game, Pirates took it 9-4. Friday's game got rained out, so it was a doubleheader Saturday, and that helped Washington take both of those. They sweep the doubleheader 5-3 in the first game, and then 8-6. They score a bunch of runs late to come back and beat the Pirates. Pirates blow another game late there. Doubleheader sweep for the Nationals, but they do win on Sunday. The Pirates do 7-3 your final there. So the Pirates and Nats split the 4-game set 2 apiece. Here we go now. Yankees at Cubs. Of course, Baltimore lost 2, which means the Yankees just need to win 2. They take the first game easily 3-0, shutting out the Cubs. Anthony Rizzo's return to Wrigley Field did not go unnoticed. Followed up by a 2-0 Yankees win on Saturday. They have shut out the Cubs in both games. They look for the sweep, but the Cubs won't give it to them. 2-1 Cubs in the final, though. The Yankees get a game on Baltimore, and are now in the AL East lead. 2 of 3 goes to the Yankees over the Cubs. Mariners and Cardinals. Mariners saw the Astros take 2 against the D-backs, so they need to at least get 2 against the Cardinals. They open the series with a win, 6-1 your final there. Cardinals, though, come back and shut them out 2-0 to even up the series. Into the rematch, Mariners are all over it. Randy Arozarena, a big day at the plate for him. He hits a home run as they win it 10-4 and take 2 of 3 from the Cardinals. Rockies and Brewers now. The Rockies win the first game 3-2. Your final, Brewers even up the series with a 5-2 win, but it is Colorado who ends up taking this series 2 of 3. Go the Rockies' ways. They win it 4-1 and beat the NL Central soon-to-be champs Brewers in the series here. Giants and Padres. Hello, Manny Machado. How about a 2-homer day for him? 5-1 Padres in the first game, but the Giants fought back hard in the other 2 games. They win it 6-3 on Saturday, and then a close 7-6 victory goes San Fran's way. They had a 6-run frame in this game. Padres almost came back, but they aren't able to close it out. Giants taking 2 of 3 from the Padres. As we round off now with the Guardians and Dodgers. Guardians take a 3-1 win against the Dodgers to open up the series, which is important because they lose the other 2 games. Dodgers win it 7-2 and then 4-0. They take 2 of 3 against the Guardians, who lose 2 games in their standings over the Royals, for your series recap. All right, now for the game of the week, let's take you to Oakland. Not a lot of baseball left in this stadium, but they've had so many great memories and walk-offs in their history. Friday against the Tigers, they opened up the 3-game series here. And a bit of a pitcher's duel until the fifth inning where the Tigers got on the board. Riley Green, he singles in the first run, 1-1, but it's okay. The Oakland rookie Jacob Wilson triples in a run in the bottom of the fifth, ties it right back up. And then in the bottom of the sixth, Daz Cameron with the single to make it 2-1 Oakland. Top of the seventh, a wild pitch allows Riley Green to score, making it 2-2, and that would stay the game until extras. We went to the 10th. Colt Keith gets a single to make it 1 run. Brent Rooker, he'll double in a run. We go to the 11th. It's Parker Meadows. He hits a 2-run double to make it 5-3. Bottom of the 11th, it's Seth Brown. He hits his 14th home run on the season. A 2-run shot makes it 5-5. We go to the top of the 12th. It's Riley Green who singles in a run to make it 6-5. Bottom of the 12th, Brent Rooker, the sac fly to make it 6-6. We end up in the bottom of the 13th. Oakland has held Detroit. Seth Brown, he will single one to right field. Blade scores and Oakland walks off a winner. 7-6 Oakland, your final here in 13, your game of the weekend. Right now, let's jump into some baseball news here, and I want to talk and look over this Twins-Royals series because it's kind of a big deal here for one team, obviously being the Royals here, but it kind of just went their way this weekend here. If we take a look, and I think I owe an apology to the AL Central because last year it was the worst division in baseball. This year, arguably, it's the best division in baseball. It's the only division that has 4 teams above 500. But then again, it also has the White Sox, who are 33 and 111. So, I mean, like, it's still kind of just a middle-out division that when you add everything up together. But still, the Guardians are at the top. Royals and Twins been fighting. This 3-game sweep helps Kansas City in a big way. But here comes Detroit a little bit. They've been kind of on the back foot. They're 73 and 71, and they're kind of in the mix of things, but I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll talk Detroit. Let's talk Kansas City and Minnesota here. The series opens up, and I mean, Cole Reagans has been dominant. Royals, what a steal last year at the deadline from Texas. 6 innings, 4 hits, and 7 Ks. That's a big performance there. Michael Massey getting a home run in this game. And yeah, it was just all things considering good baseball from the Royals. They hold the Twins to 4 hits and shut them out. So that's a big win for Kansas City. Which takes to the second game, and for me, this is the biggest one. Kind of, you know, the game of the series here. It was looking good for Minnesota, especially because Bailey Ober was performing out of his mind. 7 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts, and only 1 hit through 7 innings. He was fantastic. Jose Miranda, he had a triple. Matt Wallner had a double. There was 2-0 Royals. Twins heading into the 8th inning. The Royals were down to 6 outs to play, and they had 1 hit to their name, but everything kind of changes around because Rocco Baldelli takes out Ober. That does not let him go out for the 8th inning. Instead, brings in Johan Duran, who kind of gets rocked. He gives up 2 hits, 3 runs in the process, only getting the 1 out on a strikeout before allowing Griffin Jacks to come in, who makes it even worse because he allows the other run. So it's a Kyle Isbell single, it's a Tommy Pham single to tie the game, and then who else but Bobby Witt Jr., his single gives the Royals the lead. MJ Melendez, he singles in an extra insurance run. But yeah, 4-run bottom of the 8th for the Royals, changed it, and then look who comes out of the bullpen, Lucas Erceg. What a pickup from Oakland he's been. He's been amazing in the back end of the Royals bullpen here. That shuts the door. They win that one 4-2. And then you take a look at the last game. Again, pitching wins baseball games. We talked about the crazy moves that the Royals had, bringing in Seth Lugo and Michael Wacha, and how it would look with, you know, Reagans and Brady Singer in the mix. The Royals rotation has been fantastic. At the beginning of the season, we were talking about, oh, when is it going to end? When is Seth Lugo not going to be the best pitcher in baseball right now? And, that did end, but it's still been a super solid rotation. They haven't had to worry about any major injuries. Walker was great once again, 7 innings, 7 strikeouts. That's exactly what you need from your guy. They get to Simeon, Woods, Richardson early, Garrett Hampson, a sac fly in the 5th, and then Perez, a single in the 5th as well. 2 runs in the 5th was all the baseball they needed. Walker goes 7, you bring it over to Bubic. And then there's Lucas Erceg once again shutting out and closing out another baseball game for the Kansas City Royals. They've looked good this series. For a team last year that lost 100-plus games, they are 2 games away, or I guess 3 games away from having a season over 500. They're 79-65. They're looking really good. And in my opinion, is the sneaky dark horse, pick for me for the postseason. Like, they're going to be a fun team to watch. Bobby Witt Jr. can do the most right now. They went from a 7-game losing streak and to being like, oh, are the Royals going to like fall out to like Seattle or Boston? And now here we are. They're on a 4-game winning streak, sweeping Minnesota, who was arguably the big kind of problem for them. And they're now 2.5 over them. They were from behind the Twins to now 2.5 game over them. They've kind of nicely cemented themselves into second place in the AL wildcard standings, which is big for them. And like that, it's just good right now. And the Royals are a good baseball team. They have a lot of things going up their way. And I think this sweep here, shows how much they've like improved this year. In a close, like contending season with teams like the Guardians and teams like, the Twins, those are the 2 teams that they're fighting each and every single day. They came out against the Guardians, had a big series against them. Then they got really cold. They got swept 4 games by the Astros, and then they lost another 2 to the Guardians before winning that last game against the Guardians. And that's huge because that takes into an off day. You build up more momentum. You sweep the Twins over the weekend here. And now when you take a look at the rest of the season, the 6 series you got left, Yankees coming up. That's a big one for the Royals. To win that series is huge because then you're going Pirates, Tigers, and Giants and Nationals for the next 4. Now, these aren't any easy, bloated, teams by any means, especially the Tigers right now, but these are winnable teams. These are teams that most likely will not be in the postseason. So the Royals right now need to be going 2 of 3 against every series they have. They end off with the Braves, which, given history, is not the exact team you'd want to face, but the way they've been playing recently, maybe it's not all that bad. Of course, a lot can happen in 3 weeks' time, but the Royals right now, I like their chances. If you play 500-plus ball, you're not going anywhere. You're going to make the postseason, but how close can you get to the division again? You swept the Twins, big. The Guardians lost 2 of 3 to the Dodgers. Of course, you got lucky having them get to face the Dodgers. You were right there. You were tied for first. You lost 7 straight. You've built it back up. You're 2.5 back. You're 3 games essentially from 3 wins and 3 Guardian losses from having first place again. You keep this up right now, you guys will be potentially winning the division. So we still have to talk about the Royals potentially winning the AL Central. It's up for grabs, and even the Twins, though, who did get swept, they're only 5 games out of it as well. They're still right there in the mix. So it is still anyone's division. That's the division to watch right now going forward still. And kind of brings us, staying within the division here and staying with everything that's been going on. The Detroit Tigers. What are we doing here? Are we making a late little push here? It definitely helps that the Twins got swept by the Royals. But if, my glasses are correct here, if I'm wiping it off, the Tigers right now are the first team out of the postseason position in terms of, they're behind the Twins. 3.5 back. They're tied with Seattle. They're both 73 and 71. And Boston here at 4 games. We talked about the Red Sox, kind of being in the mix there. We talked about Seattle, who could be in the mix of wild card, but we've been assuming that the easier path is to go after Houston and go get the division. That's always changing depending on how Houston's playing, if it's easier for them to get the division of the wild card. But Detroit right now is in that mix. They have a series against Colorado coming up. All of a sudden, we mentioned how the Royals, win 3 games, Guardians lose three games, Royals are in first. Tigers win 4 games, Twins lose another 4 games. Tigers are your wild card. Detroit Tigers in the mix here. I love it. I love it for Detroit here because, they essentially had gotten written off and they've had this kind of, not like power surge. We haven't seen a 10-game winning streak or anything crazy for them. But they're playing smart baseball. They've, you win 3, you lose 1. You win 2, you lose 1. Like, they've been playing just plus 500 baseball for a good while now. And, I mean, for me, that's a big thing. And I think, you sneak in a couple wins here or there. Detroit, there is still enough time. 3 weeks is 21 days. It's about 17 to 19 days, with some off days in the mix here. But 19 games, you're 3.5 back. There is plenty of time for Detroit to make it into this postseason here. So now Minnesota not only had to just get dealt and handled by the Royals, they've kind of essentially moved further back from the division. It's still open if Cleveland struggles, but they have a series against the White Sox coming up, so you know what that means. But here you are in Minnesota. You got Guardians, Royals, and it's supposed to be you guys in this kind of love triangle, who gets the division type battle. And now Detroit, from the grave, is clawing at your ankles right then and there. How embarrassing would it be if Detroit knocked out the Twins? You got 3 AL Central teams fighting for the last 2 postseason positions here. That's crazy to me, because last year they were lucky to get 1 playoff team, let alone now having, if Baltimore and New York, if one of those teams wasn't as good, we could be talking about 4 of the 5 AL Central teams in the postseason mix right now. That's how crazy this division has been. And then you have the White Sox at 33 and 111. That is just, every time I look at their record on MLB.com, it's just so sad. It's so ugly to look at. But we're not talking about the White Sox. The Tigers right now, they have the Cy Young. They had the pitching. Tarek Skubal is the guy. He's been doing it all season round. And, I mean, having that as your ace, having that as your 1, you end up in a wild card series. That's not the guy you want to see. The pitching has been good. I won't say great. The bullpen has been nice. The bullpen, I will admit, Jason Foley in the back end there, Tyler Holton, Shelby Miller. There have been guys there who have been doing it for the Tigers. Good for them, right? Obviously, right now there's no Javi Baez. He's been on the injured list. The rotation, I look at it and it's not blowing me away. You see Tarek Skubal in the 1. Fantastic. Casey Mize is the 5. For a 1-1 in 2018. You never know what you got to get out of him. And then you've got a mix of guys like Ty Madden and Brent Harder. And these guys have been doing it for a little bit. Is it going to be enough? I don't know. I take a look at this lineup and I'm thinking to myself, okay, we have Parker Meadows, who has been clutch. He had that clutch grand slam against the Padres last week. Riley Green, in my opinion, is a superstar in the making. I love this guy. Matt Vierling is having a breakout year. He's been great. Kerry Carpenter, he's got power. Colt Keith, he was my pick to win Rookie of the Year. He probably isn't, but he still had a pretty nice season for a first season here. Spencer Torkelson, he's back with the club after spending some time back in AAA. He was a 1-1 pick. He hasn't been panning out recently, but there's still all the talent in the world right there. You get down to Jace Young, brother of Josh Young. We know what he's been doing. Trey Sweeney, he hit one of the home runs this series to kind of help the Tigers win a game. And you just look further and further. They got young kids. Dylan Dingler on the bench right now. He's been called up, and he's gotten some playing time here and there. He's a backup catcher essentially, and I just can't wrap my head around how a team like this right now is 3.5 back from a wild card. But here we are, on September 9th, 9-9, Brooklyn Nine-Nine reference, it's looking at this Tigers team that's been created here, and hey, you know what? Go for it. Go get it. You know, how different would everything be? You know, obviously hindsight and everything, but how different would everything be if they had not traded Jack Flaherty to the Dodgers? Would the Dodgers be in first place in the NL West? Would the Tigers be in the postseason? I mean, Jack Flaherty's been quality for the Dodgers. He's been phenomenal there. You know, and of course, hey, Detroit, listen, worst case scenario, this year goes awry. I said you guys were my pick to win the division this year. I think I'm a year or two out for you guys. You still got Jackson Jobe. You still got Max Clark in A-ball. Like, there's still so many guys here in your farm system and your top prospects. The ceiling's only gonna get higher for the Tigers here. But I mean, they have a 3-game series against the Rockies, followed up by a 3-game against Baltimore, yikes, and then the Royals. So essentially, you've got, 6 series left. These next 3, battle. I want to see it. If you guys want to have a little fun in the postseason, knock out the Twins, have a date with either Houston or Seattle, go for it. Fight. Let's see it. I want to see it, Detroit. You guys are right there at the doorstep. You're knocking, and with enough grit and willpower here, I could see the Tigers kind of lurking around here. So let's not keep our eyes off Detroit just yet. They could be a sneaky, fun addition into the postseason here. Last bit of postseason news I want to talk about here, or getting into the postseason here. The Mets, baby, the Mets. They have had a 9-game winning streak come to an end. They lost to the Reds yesterday, but hey, an amazing series here from the Mets. Amazing 9-game stretch. And now you got to wonder, because they are now tied with the Braves for the 3rd wildcard seed, which team deserves it more? Which team would you rather see in the 3rd wildcard spot? It all depends on, your favorite teams and everything. But these two teams have been kind of battling, and, obviously the Braves have had a rough go of things because of their injuries and everything that's going on. The Braves right now, they've got 2 games against Washington coming up, 4 games against the Reds, 4 games against the Dodgers. Not exactly, the matchups you want for Braves. The Mets get to face the Blue Jays, who the Braves just finished and won 2 of 3. So if you're the Mets, win 2 of 3 against the Blue Jays. They got Philly, who, is always going to be an issue. And then they also have Washington for a couple. I mean, the way the Mets have played, they've played with fun. They've played with passion. The oh my God from Jose Iglesias, the way Jose Iglesias always kind of turns his career around every now and then, and it's always really exciting to see. He's been great with the Mets, and I mean, you look through it all. Jesse Winker, the sneaky trade acquisition, who's been great for them. Of course, the top of the lineup's been phenomenal. Lindor, Nimmo, Alonso, JD Martinez, Mark Vientos has been fantastic. Francisco Alvarez, not as much, but hey, that's a top-tier catcher and potentially going to be one of the next best catchers in the game of baseball. The lineup's been solid. The pitching has been phenomenal. You go through it. Sean Manaea, amazing. Jose Quintana, amazing. Luis Severino, amazing. Taylor McGill, been star. Like these guys have done it all season round right now. They're all kind of, in their 30s, veteran guys who have kind of done it before with other teams. Sean Manaea, of course, with Oakland. Quintana, the White Sox, the Cubs. Luis Severino, the Yankees. And they've kind of come together now and have made this kind of like gritty baseball team. And it's been fun. The bullpen, there's some question marks around the Mets bullpen with Edwin Diaz in the closing. He hasn't had the season that he's had, 2 seasons ago. Ottavino's been good. Stanek's been okay. There are obviously pieces. They did lose Jeff McNeil, which does hurt. They don't have Kodai Senga. How different could this team be with those pieces? Guys like Sean Reed-Foley, Brooks Raley in that bullpen to help out. Ronnie Mauricio, the kid. So the Mets have had their own fair share of injuries, don't get me wrong. On the other end, you've got a team who, 2-3 seasons ago, World Series champions, beating out the Astros. MVP Acuna, not there. Cy Young candidate Spencer Strider, not there. Austin Riley and Ozzie Albies right now, they've been going on and off this IL like it's a jump rope. And right now they're both on the jump rope. They're both on the IL. So right now they're rocking out a lineup that has Michael Harris II. Jorge Soler is back from a trade with the Giants. Ozuna been stars. Olsen, hasn't had the season like he had last year, but still a good season. Darno's been catching. You get Gio, you claim him off from the Tigers, and that's another move for the Tigers. Going back to that, what would happen if you had Gio? Kalanick hasn't been maybe it's been exactly what they've expected, but there's still a ceiling for Kalanick that I expect him to reach one day. And of course, RC on that back end as well. Sean Murphy, he's been doing the catching with Darno as well. They've got Witt, they've got Duvall, they've got Laureano. They have outfielder help, Eli White with some speed options there. It's been good. The big key piece here, Chris Sale, phenomenal. What a trade, what a pickup, and what a turnaround for Chris Sale. He's going to be your Cy Young in the NL. He better be, because he is having an amazing season. Potentially even a triple crown season. So, hey, Chris Sale, he is doing it right now. And that's followed up with the other guys, Charlie Morton, Ronaldo Lopez, Max Fried. All the pitching has been great. That's where the Braves have had this kind of like, hey, we're the Braves still. That's why they're still in the position of this wild card. If I look at the lineups between these two teams, I am more scared of the Mets lineup. Pete Alonso, Nimmo, Lindor's had a phenomenal year. I mean, these are guys, and they're both great teams, man. I don't know what to say here. The rotation, I lean Braves way. Chris Sale has been that dominant, and having Max Fried and Ronaldo Lopez, the rotation, Braves. The bullpen has been phenomenal for the Braves as well. I think pitching, I lean Atlanta, but when it comes to the offense and hitting, I lean the Mets here. So it really comes down to the other way around. And of course, they're tied right now. There's still 19 games to go. There's still a lot to play for. And of course, they still have a 3-game series that essentially determines who will take that wild card seat. If one of these teams sweeps the other in that series, that's the difference maker right there. Because at that point, you have only 3 games left. That's the second last series. So of course, the Braves are playing the Dodgers. They got the Nationals. Mets got the Jays, the Phillies, the Nationals. There are series right now that need to be played that are important. But if I'm Snicker, if I'm the Mets here, I'm looking at that series. That's the series right now. That's what I'm preparing for. I want to make sure I got my guys lined up. If I'm at the Braves, I want Chris Sale, Max Fried, and Ronaldo Lopez going in that series. If I'm the Mets, I want Sean Manaea, Luis Severino, and Jose Quintana. I want to see the 1, 2, 3s of these staff. That needs to be a playoff series. I am hoping by the time that series comes around, these two teams are still tied, and everything will depend on those 3 series. My bum will be glued to the couch for those baseball teams. But yeah, let me know who you think, Braves or Mets. Who do you want to see, and who do you think is going to get into it? All right, now moving on from all of that, we have our hot and colds from the week here, and we've got some power hitters who are hot. Kyle Schwarber, 12 for 26, 3 doubles, 5 home runs, 11 RBIs, 9 runs, a 1.654 OPS for him. Joining him, the power slugger, Eugenio Suarez, 12 for 26, 2 doubles, 4 home runs, 5 RBIs, 12 runs, 4 walks, a 1.533 OPS. And from the O's, Gunnar Henderson, 10 for 24, a double, 3 home runs, 5 RBIs, 6 runs, a 1.297 OPS. Outside of those power hitters, you got Mookie Betts, 9 for 22, 3 doubles, a triple, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs, 7 runs, a 1.389 OPS. And then the contact guy, Cedric Mullins, 9 for 20. He's got a double, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, 4 runs, 4 walks, and a 1.342 OPS. Those are our hot hitters. On the cold side, on the other side, Jonah Heim 0 for 18 with 4 Ks. Kyle Stowers 0 for 19 with 10 Ks. Yikes, yikes. Stephen Kwan 1 for 19 with 4 Ks. The contact hitter, not doing a lot of contact right now, and so is Max Schumann, who's 1 for 22 with 9 strikeouts there. And of course, Spencer Torkelson back from AAA, 2 for 25 with 10 Ks. Still trying to work things out there. In terms of injury updates, here we go. The big one indeed, is Jeff McNeil. He is done for the year, fractured wrist, and he's expected to miss the rest of 2024. Not good for the Mets. Big one there. Alec Bohm is on the IL with a left hand strain. So the Phillies lose out on their third baseman for a bit. And the Dodgers losing out on another starting pitcher, Gavin Stone, on the IL. Right shoulder inflammation for him. And then a couple Angels. Kevin Pillar, he's on the IL, a sprained thumb. And then Joe Adell with a strained oblique. So hopefully these guys will get a couple more games in them. But at the end of the season, Pillar, of course, potentially retiring. So maybe get another series out of him would be great. Moving on here, we've got our outstanding performances. Excuse me. And we've got quite the list here, so let's get going. Cody Bradford, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Luis Hill, 6 innings pitched, a hit, no earned runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks. Dean Creamer, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Zach Wheeler, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 7 Ks. Cole Reagans, we talked about him, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. Framber Valdez, 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, 7 Ks. Bryce Miller, 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks. Bailey Ober, 7 innings pitched, a hit, no earned runs, no walks, 7 Ks. Kyle Gibson, 6 2/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, 9 Ks. Chris Sale, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, a walk, and 7 Ks. Edward Cabrera, 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, a walk, and 6 Ks. Luis Severino, 6 2/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 8 Ks. Garrett Cole, 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts for him. Jack Flaherty, 7 1/3 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 6 strikeouts. And lastly, Michael Wacha, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, a walk, 7 Ks, no earned runs there as well for your outstanding performances. We will now take a look at the standing check here, going over the updates for the standings. What? Anyways, AL East, Yankees half a game above the O's, 82 and 61 for the Yankees, 82 and 62 for the O's. Half a game difference, those two teams fighting. The AL Central is where it's a little bit different. The Guardians, 81 and 62, 2.5 up on the Royals, who are 79 and 65, and the Twins, 76 and 67, 5 games back. Tigers not fighting for the division, I'll tell you that much. AL West, the Astros 4.5 up on the Mariners, looking like they're going to be dominating the West once again. The NL East, it's the Phillies, who are at 85 and 58. They're 7 games up on the Braves, 7 games up on the Mets. So it's looking like it's going to be a Philly East division there. The Brewers are at 82 and 61, 9 games up on the Cubs, so it's pretty much Milwaukee there. The NL West, the Dodgers have looked really good. They're 7-3 in the last 10, and the Padres and Diamondbacks slowly starting to fizzle. Still good teams, but just nowhere near the pace to catch the Dodgers. They're at 86 and 57. Padres 81 and 64. Diamondbacks 80 and 64. Dodgers 6-game lead over the Padres, 6.5 lead over the Diamondbacks. In the wild card standings, the O's are 5.5 up on the line. The Royals 2.5 up on the line. Twins at the line, and they're being chased. 3.5 back are the Tigers, 3.5 back are the Mariners, 4 games back are the Red Sox. Those 3 teams hunting down the Twins right now. On the other side, the Padres, 2 games up on the line. D-backs, a game and a half up on the line. They're in second. Braves and Mets are tied at the line. Braves 5-5, Mets 9-1 in their last 10. If that makes a difference. And if we look outside of those 2 teams, the Cubs are 5 games out. So it's looking like the NL West or the NL playoff side will come down to Braves versus Mets, unless a Cub or Cardinal wants to get hot, or if a Padre or Diamondback wants to chill out. It's looking like it's going to be the Braves or the Mets here. So keep your eyes on that, as that is our standings check. We'll take a look now at the upcoming performances. The upcoming series. Mixing up my words here. Upcoming series for the week here. It starts with the Reds and the Braves. They have a 1-game makeup from July 24th. They'll be playing that today. And then we'll take a look at the other games for the week here, the actual kind of series matchups. The Mets and the Blue Jays will face off. Orioles at Red Sox. Royals at Yankees. Rockies at Tigers. Guardians at White Sox. Angels at Twins. Padres at Mariners. A's at Astros, Rays at Phillies, Braves at Nationals, Marlins at Pirates, Reds at Cardinals, Cubs at Dodgers, Brewers at Giants, and then the Rangers and the D-backs. They're in Arizona here. The 3 series to watch here, the first one being Royals at Yankees. As mentioned, the Royals, if they want to fight for that division, they need to take 2 or 3 from the Yankees. And of course, the Yankees, with Oilers half a game out, need every win they can muster up. Padres and Mariners, that one's fun and important. The Astros have the A's. Mariners need to be getting wins that the Astros are losing. And of course, the Padres are trying to chase down the Dodgers while also holding the lead over the Diamondbacks, who is our other series here, Rangers at D-backs. And because it's a rematch of the World Series, we saw these 2 teams play back in May for a 2-game set in Texas. Now a 2-game set against the D-backs, or get the World Series rematch in Arizona this time around. So that will happen there, and that is that. And the last thing of the episode. That's right, we're not done just yet after the upcoming series, because I've officially decided that it is the point where I want to start talking about the magic numbers daily at the end of every episode here, or just before the end of every episode here. So our first edition of the 2024 season for magic numbers here. We're getting closer and closer to some teams clinching. Taking a look at the AL East, the AL teams in general. The Yankees and the O's, their magic number both stands alone at 10 right now. The Guardians behind them at 11. Royals are at 13, with the Astros being 15 and the Twins being 16. So essentially, we're 2 weeks away potentially from all those teams clinching if all goes according to their plans. But of course, that will not be how the baseball will go. But yes, 10 games for the Yankees and the O's. Potentially next episode, or next week, I should say, next Monday will be the first time we'll have episodes of teams clinching. Taking a look on the losing side, the Angels' losing number is 2. So there's a good chance we'll be talking about how the Angels got eliminated on Friday. The A's magic losing number is at 4. Blue Jays are at 11, and the Rangers are at 12. So those are the more recent ones coming up. Angels and A's being the next 2 kind of here. On the NL side, Dodgers and Brewers are at 10. Phillies at 11. Padres at 15. D-backs at 16. And then the Braves and Mets both are at 18. Of course, one of which won't make it. The losing side, the Nationals are at 4, Pirates at 7, Reds at 8, and Giants at 10 for the upcoming losing numbers here. So the big takeaways here: Angels 2, A's and Nationals 4. They're the next 3 teams to be knocked out at this rate. And Dodgers, Brewers, Yankees, and O's, all with the 10 magic number, the lowest that there is. So potentially all of them could be clinching on the same day, one day coming up soon. But that's just the baseball for you guys to get excited for. Magic numbers for the playoffs as we inch closer and closer. That's going to do it for us here today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you everybody so much for listening. I appreciate you all. I've got nothing else to add, so I will see you on Friday.